So today ought to be a pretty fun project. Fun, I mean, a little sarcastically here. You know, usually when you do anything on a car, it's never fun most of the time. So let's see what we got. Alright, so went to start this thing the other day and it just skips and sputters and sounds like a misfire. And then it's fine, and then it does it again. So without getting on a big huge talking thing here, I did a bunch of research and found out what the problem is. It is the intake valve timing intermediate lock control solenoid valve, intake valve timing exhaust valve, and all that solenoid valves. And here are the culprits right here. These are the new ones, and there's 3 of them, and supposedly they're all the same part number. They're all the same thing. Basically what these do is it works the variable valve timing bullshit. You know, they made engines for a long time back in the early 1900s, and they worked just fine without all this VVT and all this other crap. And I can rant for hours about that, but whatever, it is what it is. As far as I'm concerned, that's just a bunch of crap that you don't need. But it doesn't solve the problem that we have going on right here. So anyway, these things are down in there, and just a quick look at the directions. You have to jack this thing up. This is a 2014 Nissan Rogue, by the way. Yes, it's the same one that I did the body work on. This here was all smashed. Well, go ahead and check that video out. But anyway, from what I'm seeing, you got to take all the motor mounts off and unbolt a whole bunch of crap underneath and actually drop this engine down, I don't know, probably like 3-4 inches from what I see. And all this bullshit right here we got going on, unnecessarily garbage I call it, is up underneath. So we're gonna see how many swear words we can make up today, which unfortunately you guys probably won't hear much. You'll just hear the beep beep beep, but we'll see what new words we can invent doing this project, because I have a feeling it's probably gonna be like that. But let's not get negative about it. Let's just go into this with good intentions and a happy atmosphere and a nice warm garage, and well, we'll see what we could find out. So here we go. So here we are a little later. I finally got to these things. I don't know if you can see them much. There's one of them. There's two of them. And there's number 3 right there. So I got the top motor mount off and the torque rod off, like the directions say. And I got the jack under here, under the motor, holding the motor up. I got the inner fender liner off, because I'm probably going to have to try to get up in there. I'm not sure. You know, these things are, you know, there's the frame right there, and there's the motor, so you have no room, so I'm probably not going to be able to film much of this because there's just no room for the camera. So I'm just going to kind of do updates here as we go, I guess. So let me try to get the first one down and we'll see what happens. There we go, I got one out. This was the easiest one and it was a bitch, so I don't have high hopes for the rest of them. So I'm checking these out, making sure they're the same. They look the same so far. The only difference is the drain hole on this one is on the back side and it's on the front side, but that don't matter because the oil galley goes all the way around it. But it looks like the same plug. So this one actually looks like it's a little more made. Alright, before I put this back in, I'm gonna oil this O-ring up real good and the whole thing. Hopefully get it in there incident free. Alright, let's get this thing put back in. Finally, about 2 hours later, I shut this thing off a bunch of times because I had to get under the car and get in there, and I finally got them. What a pain in the ass. I would rather pull an engine and the transmission out of a tractor trailer, a big truck, than do this again. Seriously. Anyway, here's the old ones. So, yeah. I know I got a little bit of a different demeanor going on right now. I'm not as happy and cheerful as I was when I started. This was a bitch. New vehicles suck. To the one who invented this, personally from me, you can go f*** yourself. But alright, well now I gotta put this thing back together and we'll see if it starts. I'm probably not gonna finish it up tonight, it's getting late. I'm probably just gonna put the motor mount back on it so I can let the jack down, because I still gotta put all this crap back together and I've had enough for one day. So at least just want to get the motor stabilized for tonight, and then tomorrow I'll finish up here, so let's get that done. So here it is the next day, afternoon, and we're gonna pick up where we left off. So I got this thing all together. I'm not going to put any of the inner fender on or any of the plastic on yet because I want to start it first. I want to make sure the thing actually at least runs before I put all the plastics back on. Well, it sounded kind of weird when it started, but I'm assuming everything kind of had to adjust to where it's supposed to be with the timing, because that's what those solenoids do. That they just put in is mess with the cam timing. So let's take a quick look down here and make sure there's not oil pouring out anything. You can see them down there. It sounds good now. I don't see any oil pouring out of anything. So I know we got our O-rings nice and sealed in and stuff. So, well, at least it runs. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off before this garage fills up with carbon monoxide and kills me. That was a weird noise. I know these new cars make so many noises, I don't even know what the hell's going on. And we'll get the plastics put on this thing and take it for a drive, and I'll hook the OBD reader up to it and see if I can figure out how to clear the check engine code before I do that, and we'll try to figure out, make sure this thing's fixed. Let's see if we could figure this thing out. Never done one of these things before, believe it or not. We're going to try to clear this coat on this. It's processing now. I don't even know if the engine's got to be running or what. I'm assuming maybe it does. Let's try it. Alright. Alright, wants us to turn the ignition key on with engine off to continue. And we just fell on the ground because this thing that I got that holds my GoPro sucks. So let's do this. Alright, so I did that. I'm going to push OK. Okay. But the check engine light is still on. It's saying emission code now, I don't get it. Let's try to start this thing up again. Alright, well, the check engine light is off. So I guess we did something right. I don't know what the hell that thing with that little triangle thing with the exclamation point means. I don't know. No, these cars are too complicated for me. Another 5 years you won't even be able to work on these damn things, man. Let's take this thing for a test drive, I guess. Now let's go for a little ride here. See how this thing works. Tight getting it out of this garage. Yeah, it's probably black in here right now. I didn't realize it was so dark outside. Alright, so typically before this thing would, as soon as you step on the gas, it would just kind of die out, kind of like you were jerking the gas pedal. And that would stall and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't do a before video like all my other ones, because the problem is this stuff always happens when I don't have my camera on me. So, yeah. Of course, this isn't my car. This is my girlfriend's car. So, you know, I'm not always there to see what happens. So I kind of only hear about it and then just kind of gotta figure it out or whatever. But I gotta say, the other day when I witnessed this happen and drove it a little bit, the throttle on this is very responsive now, and it seems like it's got a ton more power. I don't drive this car every day, but just the first initial response that I had on this thing, it has a lot more power now than it had before. Which makes sense because timing is everything. And that's what those things do, once again, is they run the timing. And if your timing's off, your car's gonna run like crap. Alright, we drove this car probably about 3 miles so far. I'm just now getting ready to pull back in the driveway, and she ran good. She ain't making no knocking noises or anything, so my golly, I think we might have got her. Not gonna complain about that, I guess. It actually idles nice and smooth too. I don't know if you can hear that on the video, but she's a lot more snappy than it was. definitely. Alright, well, cool. Looks like that problem's fixed. So here it is about 3 days later after I fixed the car, when I took it for a test drive and spent all week fixing it. Put probably about 125 miles on it. That would have been enough time for the check engine light to come back on. And nothing happened. The car ran great. It didn't skip and sputter or anything like that. And no check engine light. So I'd call it a success. I tell you what, it got pretty cold this weekend in this garage. I know that much. Pepsi's selling these bigger cans, I guess. But anyway, check this out. I found something cool. Of course, like anything, you know, when I went to fix this car, it didn't act up, of course. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with it. And I got looking at these 3 solenoids after I got them out. So I found something. So I got 3. I'm going to try to get it here the best so I can see it. So this thing in here, this little piston, this is what moves up and down. So I'm trying to look at the camera and focus it. So right here you could see there's a gap on this one in there. And on this one you can see there's a gap also. I can get that through there. Now on this third one, I notice there's no gap. This one here is stuck shut. So that kind of, this is a good peace of mind right here, knowing that I'm pretty sure this was the culprit right here, knowing that it was fixed. Because it was acting up, and of course, the 20 miles it took to drive it from work to here, it ran fine. So it's like, oh yeah, great. You know, here we are trying to fix a stupid thing, and then, of course, on the way back, it doesn't do it, and it's like, well, okay, so this was a really good find right here. This pretty much tells me that this was the problem. Anyway, I want to do a little test. These are solenoids, so what I want to do is I want to take my jumper pack and put these in the vise, and just for the hell of it, you know, just for fun, I just want to hook the wires up to them and see what the sound is. And usually solenoids, if they're dead, they won't be as strong as they will, like, won't be such a strong click. So let's try these out. I'm gonna I'm going to start out with one of the good ones. Actually, I'm going to save the bad one for last. Or it might be these two are bad and that one's good. And I'm assuming those are supposed to be open. Alright, let's see how this works. These here, if we don't get any big sparks. Alright, that one seems to work pretty good. Alright, so this one here seems to... Well, that's kind of our control. We'll know what they're supposed to sound like. And, alright, so this is the other one that's good. This one actually sounds a little different than that first one, but it still opens and closes freely. Alright, so here's the one that I think is bad. Let's try this one out. Oh yeah. All this one does is sparks. Let's try to push it back. Oh yeah, that thing's like stuck. Oh yeah. Yeah, it sticks. It closes and then it sticks. And that goes back really hard too. Yeah. I'll open it up manually. I open it up manually and then I click it with the power. and then it just sparks. So, well, there you have it. It's stuck shut. So either the spring, you can see the little spring in there. I don't know, probably can't even see it. This doesn't focus in that good without the auxiliary lenses, but yeah, there's a spring in there that pushes that piston back. So you can see I'll push this piston back right now with this little scribe right there. So I pushed it back. So it just closes and it sticks shut. So, well, anyway, I am very confident that this was definitely the problem right here. This one here, these two here worked pretty good. And then this one here just sticks right shut. So if you ever have that problem with a Nissan Rogue with the idling, of course I didn't get any footage of how it idled because every time I tried to get my phone out and record it, then it would idle fine again. So, but it basically, like you guys that know cars good, it basically sounded like the timing was off. It sounded like a coil pack was bad. It just had a really bad skip to it. And then, like, when you went to take off from a stop and then step on the gas, it just jerked and, you know, it kept stalling out and stuff. And then it was fine, and then it acted up again. So, you know, that's pretty much all I can explain for it. Variable valve timing oil control solenoids. There's one for the intake cam, there's one for the exhaust cam, and then there's an intake cam lock solenoid. Whatever that means. They're all the same part number. So I got these at my local Nissan dealer. I'm not gonna really get into part numbers and stuff like that because I don't know anything about these cars. Something might have changed halfway through the year, but when I went and ordered these, they wanted the last 8 of the VIN and year and make and model and all that crap. So, and then they gave me these, so they're all the same. And this might help somebody out too, because when I was doing the research on these things, it did not say anywheres on the internet that these were the same part number. It said that there's an exhaust cam, an intake cam, and an intake cam lock. And it made it sound like they were 3 different items. And then when I ordered them from Nissan, they were 3 of the same part numbers. So just keep that in mind, because I went through a lot of trouble until I called Nissan, and then they straightened it out for me. So with that being said, if you have that problem with your car, it's probably this. I forgot what the code was that it was popping up, but that's simple enough to find out anyway. All you do is just punch the code that your OBD reader pops up. You just punch that into Google, and it tells you pretty much what any code is that pops up, and then you just go from there. So I don't know. Maybe this helps somebody out, maybe not. These new cars are getting too complicated. I'm going to stick to my guns and say there ain't no reason with this crap. Just make a mechanical timed engine like the old stuff and it'll run fine. But these things are just a big waste of resources as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I think we got the car fixed. If anything else comes off about it, and it's not fixed for some reason after some more mileage gets put on it, I'll make a follow-up video. If not, then we'll all know it was fixed, so we'll just take it from there. So until next time, take care, and thanks for watching my videos. We'll see you in the next video.